What's up, you guys, and welcome back to some more r/slash real talk stories with your boy RT and my dude Dale. You guys, today we are diving into some real talk and my the a-hole stories that comes along with an update. You guys, today's OP is worried whether she overstepped her boundaries, y'all. I know I tend to overstep my boundaries from time to time, but I want to see what you guys think about today's story. Without any further ado, Dale, can you please take it away, my man?
I, female 42, would like to send my niece, female 22, on a road trip for her graduation gift. The backstory is that my family has a tradition of sending high school graduates on a road trip with friends as a graduation present. My parents did the same thing when they were younger and took us on many road trips as kids. They are some of my best memories. My niece is graduating from college in May, and I want to pay for her to go on a road trip with some friends. COVID hit when she graduated high school, so I wasn't able to offer a road trip back then. The problem is my sister-in-law, my husband's sister. She's a very uptight and controlling woman. She's a very good mom, but keeps my niece on a short leash. My niece has always had strict routines and rules, such as no dating, no concerts, no going out with friends, no frivolous spending, etc. My niece is an absolutely wonderful person and is graduating with a degree in chemical engineering and plans on attending grad school. I want her to actually have some fun before she jumps in grad school and full adult life. My sister-in-law doesn't want my niece to go. She thinks road trips are frivolous and expensive. She is an extremely frugal person. She thinks road trips are extremely dangerous and a waste of time. My sister-in-law does admit she's not a very fun person and that she knows she overreacts to lots of things. When I brought up the road trip recently and me covering all the costs, she said absolutely not. Even though my niece is an adult, she still thinks she can control her daughter. My niece very much wants to go, but also doesn't want to disappoint her mom. I tried talking to my sister-in-law about all her objections. My niece has a good car, knows how to fix many things on it, has AAA roadside assistance. All the girls going are mature and not partiers. No one is interested in getting drunk and driving. I have family all along their planned route, and she won't have to spend a dime of her own money. As a side note, I paid for my niece to go to school outside of what her scholarships didn't cover. And my sister-in-law is still not willing to budge. This is where I might be the a-hole. I told my niece she is an adult and she gets to make her own decisions. I will pay for the trip if she wants to go, no matter what my sister-in-law says. But I worry that I am overstepping and getting between my niece and her mom. I love my sister-in-law, but I don't think it's fair to make my niece have a small life. Life is dangerous and frivolous, and it's okay to not run from that. My husband says I should just drop it so I don't damage my niece's relationship with her mom. So, would I be the a-hole for paying for my niece to go on this trip?
You know, life is too short not to live. One of my good friends, a really, really close friend of mine from back in high school, he was the epitome of just living life to the fullest, because you truly never know when the next moment will be your very, very last. He lived every moment as if it was his last moment. Subsequently, he ended up passing away, but he lived his life, with no regrets. And I feel like OP in this situation understands that. I feel like OP's niece wants to understand that, but OP's niece's mom, rather, she just does not understand that at all. It's funny. OP said that she does not want to ruin her niece's relationship that she has with her mom. However, it seems like that relationship is already ruined, so it's like the irony of OP wanting to make sure that things are, maintained and not diminished and not destroyed. However, it seems like OP's sister-in-law has already done her fair share of destruction when it comes to the relationship that she has with her child. Now, I say all that to say this, I understand as a parent, you want the best for your kids. As a parent, you want, your kids to be safe. You want your kids to, not do unnecessary things. You want them to have better lives than you did. You don't want them to unnecessarily be reckless or dangerous. However, this is just a road trip, so I understand, trying to encourage, the sister-in-law trying to encourage the niece to, live life responsibly. Yes, absolutely. Live life responsibly. Don't, spend frivolously, continuously. If you have a situation where you have saved up and you have funds, or in this case, OP is willing to, OP put out money for her niece's college fund, and OP is willing to pay for the niece's road trip. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer in this situation for me that OP is not the a-hole. OP, you are not the a-hole. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. OP, you're not the a-hole for wanting to do what you're wanting to do. If the sister-in-law is wanting to, try to maintain a great level of control over her daughter, that's between her and her daughter. That has nothing to do with you. If you want to do something with your niece or for your niece as a graduation gift, you should by all means do it, especially being that she's an adult. I mean, she's not even a high school graduate now because, she ended up experiencing her graduation and then COVID happened and it delayed things. She is an adult now. So ultimately, her mother has little to no say, practically zero say in what it is that OP's niece can do or cannot do. And it'd be one thing if, the niece wanted to go and skydive. Okay, that's a little bit dangerous and very risky, and you never know how that can end or whatnot, or if you just pick up the bad parachute by accident or whatever the case is, or you decide to go, rock climbing or whatever. I mean, if you're deciding to do something that is outright dangerous and it's obvious as to how dangerous and reckless it is, I can understand the sister-in-law being concerned and frustrated and angry with, OP for encouraging it. However, this is just a vacation. And it seems like OP has already set up all of the parameters to make sure that her niece is safe, being that her niece will travel along a route where there's family, easily accessible. She knows how to do things. She, has AAA. She has all of these different things. So I just don't see the extreme danger or the, justification in OP's sister-in-law being the way that she is, other than the fact that, I mean, she admitted that she's not the most pleasant and exciting person to be around, but that doesn't mean that everybody around you has to be that way. It doesn't mean that your children, hell, I'm an introvert, but my son is very much so the opposite of me. He's an extrovert, but you know what? I want him to thrive in being an extrovert. I want him to thrive in being outgoing. I want him to thrive in being who he is and, experiencing life in a way that is appealing and pleasing to him, and interesting to him. I don't want him to live life the way that I live just because I've lived it this way. That's not fair to him, and quite frankly, that's just unnecessary in all aspects. So, long story short, OP, you are not the a-hole in my opinion at all. I wouldn't even say the mom's the a-hole, the sister-in-law. I just think that she's just misguided. I feel like she may have some trauma that she hasn't worked through. I say that a lot, but I think that's a huge thing in our society nowadays. I feel like a lot of people don't deal with certain life experiences appropriately, which leads them to doing certain things later on in life or being a certain type of way later on in life. It could also just be that she's just terrified of living, and that's no way to live in my opinion. But you guys, let's continue on to see exactly what kind of an update OP has for us in this next section, y'all.
I followed the advice that some people gave me from my last post. I told my sister-in-law I was going to give my niece the money for the trip, and then I would drop it. I told my niece the same thing. I'd give her the money and let her make her own decisions. A few months later, my niece came to me and said she was taking the trip after a lot of consideration. She told her mom, and it didn't go well. Unfortunately, it caused a huge fight between them, and my niece didn't talk to her mom for over 2 months. During that time, my sister-in-law bombarded me with accusations of taking her daughter away. Eventually, I blocked her on my phone, so the only way she could talk to me was through my husband, her brother. My husband took my side but tried to soothe my sister-in-law, telling her she raised a mature and capable person and she had to let go or lose her daughter forever. During that time, my niece was planning her trip, but also really missed her mom. She called me crying a lot but never backed down on taking the trip. It was her mom that finally cracked, and after months of not talking, she reached out to niece and apologized. Things improved a little bit, but my sister-in-law was still against the trip. My niece told her it didn't matter, she was going and that was that. My niece and her friends went on their trip and just got back last week. They had tons of fun. The only problems they had were one flat tire and a bad sunburn on their first beach day. They ended up at Disneyland and spent a few days just having the time of their lives. My niece was nice enough to call her mom daily and provide updates to help her mom not flip out too bad. Her mom wasn't happy about her going, but admitted that my niece would have put her foot down at some point and the trip was a good excuse. She's still not happy with me, but she did thank me for always loving her daughter, even if we have vastly different ways of showing it. My niece is still negotiating how to have a better relationship with her mom. So, yeah, my niece had fun and is working on her relationship with my sister-in-law.
So it's good to see that OP's niece decided to kind of take a step out on faith and, take that leap out as an adult and make the hard decision to create some space between her mom and her and to go and enjoy this vacation, just to have the road trip and have that experience underneath her belt. I think life, again, is too short not to experience it to the fullest. It's good to know that, OP's sister-in-law, kind of came around. At the same time, it still doesn't seem like she's fully there at all. OP's niece is gonna just have to continue to work to figure out exactly how to have a relationship with her mom. Whether that's to fully get her mom to understand that she no longer has control of her life, but she can continue to do what she wants for herself, but not for her daughter anymore, since her daughter's an adult. Whether that's OP continuing just to kind of keep things at a bare minimum. That way, the mom doesn't overstep her boundary or feel like she can kind of step in and, regain control again. Whatever that looks like, OP's niece is just going to have to continue to develop that relationship like that. And to be honest with you, those kind of relationships are hard. Those relationships are difficult. Whether you're doing that and experiencing that type of relationship with family or friends or, anyone that you have in your inner circle, that's very difficult, especially when you love them and you care for them and you want the most for them. It's hard to have those kinds of relationships, especially when you have to create some distance in order for them to kind of really truly understand that you're an adult, or you're going to make this decision, or you're, going to live this lifestyle or live this particular way. It's hard. It's hard doing what OP's niece is doing. However, it's possible. And, I just hope that they're able to continue to mend their relationship, grow and expand their relationship. And, overall, I'm just glad that OP stood up and continued to do what she did as an aunt, as well as I'm glad to hear that OP's niece did what she did in standing up to her mother as an adult and just making, solidified decisions for herself. Again, it's toxic whenever parents feel the need to continue to have control over their children, even after their children are not just, young adults, but established adults. OP's niece has not been an adult for, a year. I mean, this is like a couple of years in the making where she's had to experience life. Granted, she's still new to the whole adulting thing, but she's not just walking into it, even if she was walking into it, it'd be a situation where you ask for advice. You don't necessarily have all your decisions made for you by your parents or anyone else in your life. So that's just very toxic. And you know what? The strange thing is now that I think about it, it could be a situation where OP's sister-in-law experienced that kind of a relationship with her mother. It could be a situation where the sister-in-law had a mom that really worked, or even a dad that worked to control every little thing that they did, like controlled every action, every outing, every choice, every aspect of their lives. However, it could be that that's not the case. I mean, look at OP's husband. I mean, she doesn't mention that her husband is like this at all, and her husband is, OP's sister-in-law's brother. So, you know, I'm not too sure on it either way. I'm just glad that things kind of panned out the way that they did. But I want to see what you guys think. I want to know where you guys are when it comes to this entire story. Do you think that the mom's the a-hole, the sister-in-law? Do you think that she is an a-hole? Do you think that OP is an a-hole for what she did? Do you think that OP overstepped her boundary? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. My opinion is not the end-all be-all. I want to know what you guys think. And do you think that the niece approached the adjusting of her relationship with her mother in an appropriate way? Or do you think that she could have done it a little bit differently and been a lot more effective in that new approach? Whatever you think, you guys, I want y'all to drop down into the comment section. Let me know your opinions, your thoughts, and while you're at it, you guys, go ahead and smash that subscription button and hit that like button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you guys are notified every time we upload a brand new video here on this channel. You guys, I hope y'all have enjoyed your time here with us at r/slash real talk. You guys, we've got some more real talk stories coming your way, but in the meantime, y'all, many blessings and much love, y'all.